Okay Dan, this is Paul Wilson here. I trade on eBay as a Ficus 13, answering some questions about the Invicta hopefully. I've just put these four watches here for illustration purposes, primarily about the colour. It really is very difficult to differentiate between the colour of various watches. As it happens, this is the Invicta in question. This is another Invicta of a lower grade. The watch here is a Jules Jorgensen, and this one is a Poitevin. The pinkest of the watches is actually the Poitevin, with the next pinkest being the Jorgensen, then the next being this Invicta, and the yellowest being this Invicta. But it really is a matter of the light that you view them in and on the metals they've been alloyed with. That's what at the end of the day gives them the hue. So in terms of is it rose or pink gold, it's rosier than some gold, but it's not anywhere near as rosy as the one on the right. Sometimes in America and Canada the term rose gold is used just to describe plating, not here. Rose gold means pure gold with a rosy or reddish hue. Anyway, let's get rid of these distractions off to one side. And this leaves us with the 18 carat Invicta. I've just put it on a piece of paper so hopefully things are a bit clearer. I've removed the dial cuvette and glass to reduce any glare so you can see what's going on. As you can see, it's a large watch. Now, looking at the front of the watch, basically if you press the pip on the crown, then it flicks open. You can see the hinge is nice and firm, it doesn't go past 90 degrees or anything. And what you have here is the dial, which ordinarily would have that bezel over it. Anyway, to adjust the time, flick that lever out there and then you turn it around to whatever time you want it set to. Don't ever turn a repeater backwards. You'll damage the repeat work under the dial and it could be extremely expensive to rectify. Anyway, setting it here, for example, just go on 8 o'clock. If you press the button here for the gongs, it struck 8. There's no quarter sounded there because it's obviously not at the quarter. If you move it past the quarter and press again, you get the double strike for the 8:15. If we move it to another time, just to illustrate that all is well, let's put it at say 1:45, or just past 1:45. Again, click it back and off we go. So that's one single strike for the hour and then 3 double strikes for the 3/4 to indicate it's gone past 1:45. Anyway, looking at the rest of the dial, you've got the seconds subsidiary here. That's the constant running seconds, so as long as the watch is ticking that will be going around. And this is the center seconds flyback chronograph activated here. You press it once and off we go, and it goes around. You press it again to stop it and press it to fly back to 0. We'll let it run on a bit next time just to show you it working in a different place. So hopefully you'll get the idea. A little bit tedious, but there we go. Gives the impression of running slower than the second subsidiary, but that's simply a matter of scale. It does actually keep perfect time with it. Once it gets to around 1/2 then I'll stop it and cause it to fly back again so you'll see it's working correctly. There we go. And back we go again to 0. So as you can see, the hands are setting fine, the second subsidiary is fine, the center seconds flyback is fine. Just closing the cover. Always press the pip in when you close the cover on these. Don't ever click it past the steel, because at the end of the day these covers are soft gold. Steel is harder than gold and that will cause damage over time if you click it forcibly into place. So always use the button to shut it like so. As you can see, it's firmly closed. Flipping it over, you've got the rear cover that opens to show you the Invicta medals. I don't know, I'm afraid, what the Lomand local means at the top. It's nothing to do with the manufacturer. I suspect it's the location of the exposition rather. The serial number here to the right, you've asked a question about that number. That is the serial number of the watch, the individual case number. And as you can see, the Invicta chronograph at the bottom. This cuvette is gold. On a lot of these watches it's only gilded metal, but this one is solid gold. Inside you can see you have the extra bezel for the crystal or lens, which is not present. Personally, if I was you, I wouldn't put a glass one in there. If you're going to put one in at all, I'll put a plastic one in. And the reason is, if ever they break, which they can do, little pieces of glass in the movement can cause a lot of problems. Anyway, as you can see, the movement is nice and clean. This little governor down here we've been exchanging emails about, that is indeed solid pink gold. That's a little Maltese cross section in the middle, and the plates, nice and sort of crisp, and that is what's referred to as frost gilding. So it's a type of gold plated wash, if you like, for want of a better term. Essentially, once they are frost gilded, they're not polished. It's a fairly economical way of gold finishing a movement. So that's that. As you can see, it shuts up fine. You should always keep the back closed up, really, anyway. The back should only be opened for service procedures. All the covers, as you can see, nice and firmly shut, and again the front flips open. And there we go. Hopefully that answers some of your questions. Oh, by the way, the bow is nice and firm, as you can see. So there we go. Hopefully I'll try and upload this via YouTube or similar, and give you a link later on. Cheers.